Freedom Alliance is a charity that supports our military and their families. In September, thanks to a generous gift from the Hengler Moriarty Foundation, we were able to take 6 combat veterans on the trip of a lifetime to Ireland.
The week was centered around golfing at some of the most beautiful and most historic golf courses in the world. On the trip, we had Jimmy Ochan. Jimmy, as a young child, escaped Uganda and the warlords where they were going to make him into a child soldier. He escaped to the United States, immigrated, and when the events of 9/11 happened, he was called to give back to the country that had given so much to him, and he joined the United States Marines. And when asked where he wanted to go in the Marines, he said, "I want to fight and I want to shoot guns." He's a warrior through and through. We had 2 Marines from Chicago, James Tucker, who was a Marine Scout sniper, and Eric Perez, who was a machine gunner. Both served in the 24th Marine Regiment in Iraq, together on the same deployment, and witnessed many of the same things and lost many of the same brothers. Rodney Duncan and Scott Brasher were 2 Marines that I had the pleasure of serving with. Rodney at the School of Infantry, training young Marines. Rodney had been on many deployments before that assignment and after that. And Scott had invaded Iraq, done the first battle and the second battle of Fallujah, where I had the pleasure of serving with him in 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. All these guys love golf. That was part of the reason they were chosen. And all of them love being Marines and love being around Marines. When you're playing golf, it's a good mix of camaraderie, competition, and solitude all at the same time. It was a little bit crisp when we got off the bus at Ballybunion Golf Course. The sun was just starting to peek over the mountains when we walked up to the first tee box, and everybody kind of stood around, and our caddies were telling us, you know, where the lie was and in their Irish accents, and everybody was just getting really excited, and everybody was really looking forward to that first, you know, tee shot once it hit off to see what would happen. First 9 holes, lots of tall grass, lots of pot bunkers, and a lot of other challenges on those first 9. Golf courses in Ireland are a little bit intimidating, especially for those who are amateur golfers at best. But as we all stood around and watched Jimmy gracefully sink a 25-foot putt, everybody was 1, jealous, and 2, we were all really excited for him. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy is the first Ugandan to ever play some of these courses. We step out of the bus at Waterville Golf Course, and the manager has come out to meet our group, which was really cool and made everybody feel really welcome. As we walk over to the driving range, we see this older gentleman with a Special Forces hat on. We ended up striking up a conversation, find out he's a Special Forces helicopter pilot from Vietnam, driving between our groups on his golf cart and just cutting it up, and he was absolutely hilarious. And we didn't really realize it until after lunch. We found out he was part owner of Waterville Golf Course. The last course we played in Ireland was Killarney Golf and Fishing Club. That day, we had the absolute pleasure of having Dick Hengler golf with us. The setting was so picturesque and so beautiful that every time you looked up, if you weren't hitting a golf ball or someone wasn't hitting a golf ball, they had their phones out taking photos of the scenery. Anytime we go anywhere, we get safety briefs, and part of our safety brief was to avoid politics if at all possible. But James, of course, had to cause controversy with his Donald Trump golf head cover. The entire experience was the vision of the Hengler family, and Franz was instrumental in so much of the planning of what we did throughout the week and where we stayed.
For as long as I can remember, I've been coming back to Ireland to visit my mother's hometown, Killarney, located here in the southwest of Ireland in County Kerry. It's a very welcoming place. It's a very beautiful place, a very peaceful place.
Ardnashee was an absolute magical place, is the best way to put it. We're talking about Marines who are more accustomed to sleeping in dirt with an MRE for a pillow than staying in a world-class hidden gem of Ireland hotel. I thought there's going to be a leprechaun that's going to jump out and be like, "Welcome to Ireland, Mr. Miles. Good to see you again." As we went from destination to destination while we were in Ireland, we were on a pretty big bus, and it had a table, and somebody had cards. And when you have a table and cards and Marines all together with time to kill, spades inevitably happens. One night, we ventured into Killarney to experience the Irish pub culture. It was everything you would expect it to be, and it was awesome. Each pub had an assortment of delicious and traditional Irish beers. Guinness, Rockshore, Killarney, Coors Light. Wait, Coors Light? From competition on the golf course to the card table, the Marines who didn't know each other before this trip found themselves in one of the most beautiful places in the world, connecting with each other and beginning or continuing a healing journey. Not only were they able to connect with each other, but they were able to connect with the civilians who truly care about their rehabilitation and build a stronger bond with them as well. After dinner, we moved across the street to Murphy's Pub, where we would hear some traditional Irish music. We didn't want to just take these guys on the trip of a lifetime. We wanted to really dig deep into some of the burdens that they'd had and that they'd carried since their time in combat.
At Ross Castle, we were able to discuss the mythic hero, Cuchulainn, the defender of Ireland. In his legend, Cuchulainn came back from war terribly berserked, angry, raging. We were able to use Irish culture and myths like that to explain some of their own burdens from war.
Through group discussions and exercises, we were able to present them with new ways to carry their experiences of war.
It allowed my mind to be free. I'm not thinking about the bad and everything. All I'm thinking about is the good, and just everything that's going on with us in this moment.
And our hope is that it lifts some of the burdens, or all of the burdens, that they've been carrying for over 15 years.